Long ago, beyond the great red hills and whispering savannas, there was a proud village called Enlovu, known for its brave warriors, wise elders, and beautiful daughters. Among them was a girl named Abeni, the daughter of the chief's third wife. Though Abeni's mother had passed when she was young, she had inherited her spirit, wild, free, and stubborn like the river that refused to change its course. Abeni grew differently from the other girls. While they learned weaving, cooking, and singing songs to charm the gods, Abeni learned to climb trees, ride horses, and track the footprints of leopards. She loved the forests and the mountains, and she spoke to the birds as if they were her brothers. But tradition is like a heavy drum. It demands to be beaten a certain way. When Abeni reached her 16th season, the village elders declared she must marry the chief's eldest son, a man cruel and heavy-handed. Abeni refused, once, twice, thrice. Each time her voice was firm and her eyes bright with fire. In Enlovu, to defy the will of the elders was to defy the gods. So after the third refusal, the decision was made: banishment. At dawn, with only a goatskin water pouch, a small knife, and the tattered memories of home, Abeni was led beyond the last hut of the village into the thick, ancient forest no one dared to enter alone. The villagers called it Orun, the forest of lost souls, where the spirits of the forgotten roamed and whispered through the trees. The moment Abeni stepped past the last stone marking the village boundary, the elders turned their backs on her. She was alone. The forest was a living thing. It watched Abeni with unseen eyes. It tested her with thorny bushes, biting insects, and the deep cries of unseen beasts. But Abeni, the daughter of the river spirit, was not afraid. Days turned into weeks. She built a shelter from woven leaves. She learned which roots were good for food and which herbs could heal wounds. She sang songs to the moon and listened to the stories the wind carried through the branches. One night, under the light of a swollen full moon, she heard a weeping unlike any she had heard before. Deep, broken, ancient. Following the sound, she stumbled upon an old woman trapped under a fallen tree. Her legs were twisted and bloodied, and her hair was as white as cowrie shells. Without hesitation, Abeni freed the woman, tore her own tunic to bind the wounds, and carried her back to her small hut. For many nights, Abeni tended to her. She fed her, sang to her, and told her stories of her childhood under the wide blue skies. When the woman was strong enough to sit by the fire, she spoke. "You have a kind heart, child. Most would have left me for the jackals. Because of your kindness, I will give you a gift." The woman removed a slender wooden staff from her bundle. It was carved with symbols of rivers, birds, and trees. She pressed it into Abeni's hands. "This is the staff of Nia, the staff of life. With it, you will command the wild, heal the broken, and bring water where there is none. But beware, such gifts come with their own burdens." Before Abeni could even thank her, the old woman vanished into mist, leaving only the scent of wild jasmine behind. Armed with the staff, Abeni's powers grew. Where she walked, dead lands turned green. Where she sang, sick children healed. Animals followed her as if she were one of their own. News of the girl in the forest spread beyond Enlovu, reaching even the ears of her old village. A drought had gripped the land. Crops withered, rivers shrank, and hunger gnawed at the people like rats in the dark. Desperate, the chief sent messengers into the forest, bearing gifts of gold and cattle, begging Abeni to return and save them. When the messengers found her, Abeni stood tall, her hair woven with feathers and leaves, her staff glowing softly in her hand. "I am no longer the girl you banished," she said, her voice like thunder over water. "But I am still of this land. I will help, not for gold, not for titles, but for the love of the earth that birthed me." She returned to Enlovu. At the edge of the dying fields, she planted her staff into the cracked earth. A great rumble shook the land. From beneath the soil, water sprang forth, clear, sweet, and plentiful. Crops sprang back to life. The rivers sang again. The people fell to their knees, weeping in gratitude. The chief, shamed and humbled, offered her anything she desired: a crown, a palace, a kingdom. But Abini smiled and shook her head. I seek no crown. My heart is wild and free like the river. I will walk where the spirits guide me. And so Abini, the once banished girl, became a legend. Wherever she went, life followed. Songs were sung of her, and her name was carried on the winds, forever a reminder that sometimes those cast away by the world are the ones who save it. Coming next, the Uber driver.